Alright guys, with Vol Rustler here, and today I'm going to be reviewing NXT Takeover Chicago 2018. I do want to apologise for a couple of things first. I am sitting on the floor recording this video. I'm doing it in my bedroom at home. Obviously I'm at home for a couple of days. I'll be back in Lincoln, I believe, on Tuesday. So then so the review that I'll put up on Tuesday should be the night one of the UK tournaments review, which I will probably wait till I get back to Lincoln and then do it there. I'm in my room, obviously. I'm recording this on my iPad, so I do apologise for the audio quality and the visual quality, and the lighting in my room isn't that fantastic either. But I did just want to get this review out because NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, or NXT TakeOver Chicago 2018, which, again, I do have to apologise that this review is going up a little bit later. NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 was a fantastic wrestling show. It had some fantastic action, some great storytelling, some great psychology, and the future of NXT, as usual, looks bright. And the main roster tonight at Money in the Bank have a serious bar to hit, as usual, and I imagine they will not even get anywhere close. Anyway, let's start with the show, and obviously the first match on the card was the NXT Tag Team Championship match between the Undisputed Era, who were represented by Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, as they took on Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Now, this is probably a lot of people's first time seeing Burch and Lorcan if they've never watched NXT TV before and they only watch the takeovers. Burch and Lorcan are fantastic. They are such a good tag team. Like, their chemistry together is perfect, and their styles mesh really, really well, because you have the really kind of gruff, rugged style of Lorcan with, you know, Burch's more slightly technical British style, kind of, you know, a little bit William Regal in him, but also he's got that rugged, that rough, that really strong styleness to him as well. And this match was a fantastic tag team open. This brought me back to the days of DIY and the Revival in the tag division. Great stuff out the bat. Burch and Lorcan took control from the offset, but then, of course, the Undisputed Era would use their tactics. They also had Adam Cole, the North American champion, at ringside, and they would get back into this matchup. The biggest spot, really, which came, you know, about halfway through the match, was when Oney Lorcan went up top, and Kyle O'Reilly sent him off the top rope to the apron and then to the floor. So that's a big bump there. Burch and Lorcan would fight back. They would hit some proper, great, fantastic double team moves with some great near falls. Burch and Lorcan hit the assisted DDT that they beat Kyle O'Reilly with in that six-man tag a couple of weeks ago. That was broken up, I believe, by Roderick Strong. Strong and O'Reilly would come back. Belly to back facebuster, a penalty kick from Kyle O'Reilly. That got a close near fall as well. O'Reilly would lock in Armageddon at one point, which Danny Burch would eventually escape from. Then it was Lorcan's turn to get in the ring and to fire back. Lorcan was, I believe, Burch was sent out the ring by Strong. O'Reilly went for a guillotine to Lorcan. Lorcan turned that into a powerbomb and then turned that into a Boston Crab, a single leg crab, which is how he beat Danny Burch in, I believe, the two matches they had that made them a tag team. Then we have, as he's got O'Reilly in the single leg crab, Strong comes in, Burch locks him in the crossface. That tease of a finish was fantastic. Then obviously it's all broken up as Roderick Strong excellently rolls through the crossface, still in the crossface, and starts kicking the head of Lorcan. I thought that was a fantastic spot. Really, really awesome, smart spot there. Burch and Lorcan hit a kind of Doomsday Device double team move, which was really what we thought was going to be the finish. But as Lorcan coming off the top, he did a spinning European uppercut. That got a near fall, but Adam Cole pulled Kyle O'Reilly out of the ring. In the end, the four men just squared up to each other, had a hoss fight. Strong gets rid of Burch. Kyle O'Reilly has a battle with Oney Lorcan. He gives him a huge elbow. Strong comes in, hits a running knee. Kyle O'Reilly hits Axe and Smash, and then Strong hits a knee at the same time. They then hit Total Elimination. The Undisputed Era retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. This was a fantastic way to open the show. Burch and Lorcan got a standing ovation after the match. And this, honestly, I watched this, and this was actually about as good as I thought it could be. This is Lorcan and Burch. They're a fantastic tag team. The Undisputed Era are a fantastic tag team. Great story to the matchup. The Cinderella story doesn't continue for Burch and Lorcan, but they can now seriously consider themselves one of the best tag teams in NXT. Fantastic opener, 4.25 stars. Really, really good way to kick off the show. We moved into the second match on the show, Ricochet and Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream came out dressed as Hulk Hogan. This was weird, but this has to throw fuel on the fire with these rumours that he's on his way back. It'd be cool to see the Hulkster again. We haven't seen him in a while, so it would be nice to see him again. So, Velveteen Dream, Ricochet. I knew this would be great, just because Ricochet is so fantastic. The Velveteen Dream is 22 years old and he's already one of the best wrestlers in NXT currently. His dedication to his gimmick is what I think is going to help him on the main roster if he ever gets there, because he is just like Taker. He lives his gimmick. He is fantastic at it. This matchup, honestly, started out so quick, so fast-paced. It was both men just trading grapples. Again, the sentence that describes this matchup is anything you can do, I can do better. And that was personified in every move that each man did. So they would mock each other. Before the match, Velveteen Dream mocked Ricochet with his own little Superman kind of gesture. Ricochet and Velveteen Dream would exchange grapples in the ring, but then as Ricochet did this fantastic segment where he kept flipping out of everything that Velveteen Dream was trying to do, they had a spot where they both did their signature taunts, they just looked at each other, it was fantastic. But then of course, Velveteen Dream would finally take over the match. Velveteen Dream, towards the end of the match, well, towards the halfway point, hit the Death Valley Driver off the top rope, the double A off the top rope, but Ricochet kicked out. Ricochet foolishly, again, went to the top rope, but Velveteen Dream met him on the apron and gave him a suplex off the top rope, off the apron to the floor. That looked really, really sick. Put him in the ring, gave him that gave him the cartwheel Death Valley Driver. Ricochet kicks out again. Now Ricochet starting to fight back. They're exchanging strikes. Super kick from Velveteen Dream. Pump kick from Ricochet takes him down. Ricochet this time, he goes up top. He goes for a shooting star. Well, no. He went for the 630 to Velveteen Dream, but Velveteen Dream rolled away to the middle of the ring. And Velveteen Dream thought Ricochet wouldn't reach him. So Ricochet didn't do the 630. Instead, he does probably the furthest shooting star press I have ever seen. It was insane. But Velveteen Dream got the knees up, so I nearly had him beat there. Velveteen Dream goes up, and Ricochet's near the corner, and then Velveteen Dream goes to the adjacent corner and goes to do the Purple Rainmaker, but Ricochet moves. This was honestly so insane at this point. Ricochet moves out of the way, Dream injures his elbow, Ricochet goes up top, hits the 630 splash to the back of Velveteen Dream. Cover 1, 2, 3. This was an excellent matchup. Honestly, maybe my favourite match on the show. I don't think it was the best match on the show. We'll get to that at the end. But no, this was maybe my favourite match on the show. Just because they incorporated the story so well. When people tell you that a match is just about two people proving that they're better, this was the match that personified that trope, that cliche. And I don't think I've seen a match in a long time do that as well as this one. Excellent matchup. 4.5 stars. I go 4.25 to the opener, 4.5 to this match. NXT was on a roll at this point. And the third match on the show, I don't think it was great, but it was definitely a very, very different matchup. The NXT Women's title match, Shayna Baszler and Nikki Cross. This match has some of the smartest and the most ingenious and different psychology I've ever seen in a women's match. Nikki Cross, in all the build to this matchup, it was all about Nikki Cross not being afraid of Baszler. Now, I wanted that incorporated in the match, but I didn't think they could do it, because I didn't really know how. But they did it so perfectly, just at the beginning of the matchup. Shayna Baszler is doing her signature like she's ready to fight, and Nikki Cross is just standing there, she's just saying, go on then, just do something. And it was this fantastic psychology of Nikki Cross that, again, I think is going to help her on the main roster. She is so smart. I don't know, she's obviously she's had a bit of experience, Nikki Storm, on the independent circuit, but seriously, she's so talented. Baszler's great as well, but this match was all about Nikki Cross. Just as I think the last match was as great as Velveteen Dream was, it was all about Ricochet. This match here was really, to me, all about Nikki Cross. Shayna Baszler played her part really well, and I think Shayna Baszler is a fantastic NXT Women's Champion, but this was all about Nikki Cross, and I think this might have been a send-off to her. So yeah, Nikki Cross, honestly, she just mocked Shayna Baszler for most of the matchup. But Shayna Baszler, of course, would fight back, and Shayna Baszler would hit her with some stiff knee strikes, which would eventually kind of make Nikki Cross start laughing, and then Nikki Cross caught one. And that was such a great moment, and Nikki Cross took control. She gave Baszler a reverse DDT on the apron, which was a really cool spot. She put Baszler in the ring. She went for the Fisherman's neckbreaker, but Baszler kept going for that Kirifuda clutch, but Cross kept escaping it. Cross eventually got the Fisherman's neckbreaker, assisted from the top rope, but Baszler got her leg on the rope, showing her ring positioning and how ring savvy she is at this point in her career. Finally, Cross went for the, I believe she went for the Fisherman again, Baszler, oh no, she went for a crucifix. Baszler would roll through, lock in the Kirifuda clutch. She would look dead into the camera. Nikki Cross would fight, she would fight, she would fight, she would scratch and claw. But then Nikki Cross would just start to smile, and she would move her hands away, and she would pass out. I think it's great because the commentators, Vic, I can't remember the new commentator that they put on because Maura's away, but McGuinness said this. McGuinness said, Nigel McGuinness said that he thinks that Nikki Cross just thinks she's giving Baszler all she can, so she's just going to take it. And I thought that was a fantastic piece of commentary that, again, not a lot of people are going to pick up on. That was fantastic. Nikki Cross passes out. The crowd booed, but I thought that was genuinely... They booed because heels in NXT are heels. People hate Ciampa. People hate Lars Sullivan. People hate Shayna Baszler because they're heels. It's wrestling. You should hate the heels. As great as in the ring as they are, all three of those heels are fantastic in the ring, I think. Some of them could use some work. But yeah, seriously, heels in NXT are hated. So the crowd booed it, but I think they were booing it just because Baszler won. I thought the finish was ingenious. I thought having Cross just pass out and having her pass out willingly. Like, you know what? Yeah, fine. Well done. Like, it wasn't even like a well played. It was more like a... Like it was kind of like masochisty. Like, she was enjoying it. And she's like, yes, this is fine. This is fine. This was a really fun matchup. 3.5 stars. Not quite the quality of the first two, but still a very good match. And I bet this, which I thought was probably the weakest match on this show, will be better than half of Money in the Bank tonight. Money in the Bank, honestly, this match will be better than half of that show tonight. I guarantee it. Fourth match on the show, and again, we found out that Gargano and Ciampa would be main eventing a takeover, as it was Aleister Black against Lars Sullivan for the NXT title. I think the build for this has been sensational. Genuinely, I think that Lars Sullivan, to me, everybody has gone into this thinking he wasn't going to win just because Black's only just won the belt, but there were points in this matchup where I think you just looked at Lars Sullivan and you said, I think they're going to go with him because of his size, because of his physique. I think Lars Sullivan has come a long way in a very short time, and this match proved it to me. There was just this level of intensity in Lars Sullivan and in Black. I think they'd seen the rest of this card, and I think they wanted to have the best match possible. And I think a lot of people looked at this matchup and said it wasn't going to be that good. And when I looked at it, I was like, this could be the most intriguing match, as I said in my video the other day, the most intriguing NXT title match I've ever seen. Not because I don't know which way it's going to go, but because it's completely different styles. And these guys, they had a great pace again early, which I think the pacing of the show was fantastic. You had a pacey opener, pacey second match. The third match was all about the psychology and all about slowly, methodically working each other over. Then you had this match. Great pace early, but when Sullivan cut it down, the crowd started to boo. And that's perfect. He's a heel. He should make the crowd boo. So yeah, right out of the gate, I think Black just thought, I need to throw everything at him. Strike, 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 strike. He tried everything as quick as possible. He tried the Black Mass very quickly. Sullivan caught it again. Sullivan took control of the matchup. Black went for a moonsault to the outside. Sullivan caught him, slammed him on the floor, and he threw him on the apron. Sullivan taking complete control of the match at this point. Went for a diving headbutt off the top rope, but now Sullivan had started to work on the leg of Black, and so Black got the knee up to the face of Sullivan, but injured his knee in the process. Sullivan would counter it, I believe, another series of strikes from Black, and then hit a huge chop block. And this is when Sullivan would properly attack the left leg of Aleister Black. He would destroy it, stretch muffler for a couple of minutes. For a couple of seconds. That was awesome. That actually, I genuinely thought Sullivan might have won the NXT title at that point. Black kept fighting though, he kept fighting, kept doing everything he could. But then on the apron, Black pump kicked to Sullivan, another pump kick straight to the face of Sullivan. He went for a third one, Sullivan caught him, hit the big power slam, pop-up power slam on the apron, rolled back in the ring, hit the diving headbutt from the top rope, kick out by Black again. But then Black finally would escape the freak accident, hit a DDT, he'd escape another freak accident, roll through the back, hit a Black Mass to the back of the head, which he didn't actually connect with, and there was quite a big gap between his connection and Sullivan's head. But Sullivan sold it anyway, and the crowd did say, you fucked up, but it's fine because they said it for 1 minute before they were back in the match. And that is the perfect part. These two guys worked it so well. And a lot of people have said, oh, well, they botched this spot, so like, oh, this match isn't that great. Like, they botched one thing, and the crowd forgot about it in seconds. It doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. Black hit him with a Black Mass. Sullivan hit him with a Black Mass more to the chest. Sullivan went down to one leg, looked at Black in the face. Black hit him with a second Black Mass. 1, 2, 3. Aleister Black retains the NXT title. This was a fantastic fantastic little NXT title match. And because everyone else has been so down on it, I'm going to give it 3 3/4 stars. This was really, really good. I really enjoyed this. This may have been Sullivan's best match in NXT. Black, people have said, oh, it is a step down from a recent NXT quality matches. It is, I agree. The Almas Gargano match, the Almas Black match, it is, you're right. But it's still really, really good. Like, I don't know, 3 3/4 stars. Really, really fun matchup. And then we move into the main event, Gargano Ciampa 2, the street fight. And just before Gargano comes to ringside, his wife Candice LeRae runs up to him with the crutch and tells him to kick his ass. Gargano goes out there, Ciampa goes out there. They kick each other's asses. It was beautiful watching this matchup. Doing a sequel to a matchup that everybody loved so much. Honestly, one of my favourite matches I've probably ever seen. One of the matches of the year if Okada and Omega hadn't just had that match at Dominion. Like, genuinely, that probably would be the match of the year if Okada and Omega hadn't had that match. But seriously, these two guys, the pacing at the beginning from Gargano is Gargano at the beginning took control of Ciampa, suicide dive, topes, that sort of thing. But then Ciampa would start to fight back. And this matchup got into a certain overdrive when they started bringing in a couple of weapons, and Gargano started to get pummeled by Ciampa. Gargano's head was put against the steel steps, and Ciampa threw a trash can lid at his head against the steel steps, and it was getting brutal. And the neck of Johnny Gargano was being worked on by Ciampa, and Gargano was just trying to survive, and he was taking everything to the back of the neck. And they teased the finish from New Orleans, but with Ciampa doing it. So Ciampa went to lock in the STF. At one point, he locked in the Gargano escape on Gargano, and Gargano was fighting, and then he transitioned into that STF, and he was going to grab the crutch to pull it up, but Gargano was fighting it, and that just pissed Ciampa off. Ciampa just elbows to the back of Gargano, and you can hear Nigel McGuinness saying, no, stop this is too much, and that added so much drama and so much tension to this match. Perfect, awesome. Then Gargano grabs the broken crutch, the one that Candice LeRae had given her husband Johnny Gargano to hit Ciampa with, and he cracks Gargano in the back of the neck with it. Gargano kicks out again. This just pisses Ciampa off, and this is after Ciampa had hit Project Ciampa. This is after Ciampa had hit a running knee. This is after Ciampa had done everything. So Ciampa decides, you know what, we're gonna go back to a year ago, and we're gonna do the same thing. So he drags Gargano in his arms, just like they did at Chicago a year ago, but a year ago they were friends for a couple more minutes. In his arms, Ciampa is just smiling, and he's ready. He's ready. He takes him up the ramp, and he says, this is my moment, it's not about you. Throws him into the set, gives him that same knee, the same things. This imagery from a year ago was breathtaking to watch. He then goes to give him the air raid crash through tables again, but before he does that, he puts him on top of these obviously the technical boxes over in that area. Like, there's a big technical box, probably about 15 feet high, and he puts Gargano on top, and he climbs it. And before he gives him the air raid crash, he grabs Gargano's wedding ring, he spits on it, and he throws it away. But while he's been doing this has given Gargano time to recover, and Gargano picks him up, and he gives Ciampa the air raid crash, the white noise, through 2 tables, and that killed both men, to be honest. Honestly, both men. They send out the EMTs to get Ciampa. They put Ciampa on the stretcher, and Gargano is sitting on the technical box. He's thinking, maybe I've gone too far. But then Gargano, and they caught this perfectly on camera, Gargano looks at his hand, and he starts looking at his hand, and he sees that his wedding ring's gone. And he starts to get angry, and he starts to look at Ciampa, and he starts to get really angry. And he starts just really angry, and you can hear the crowd building up, and he says, you know what, you bastard, you took my wedding ring off. You spat on my wedding ring, and you threw that away. That's my wedding ring, the woman I love. And he gets incensed, and he attacks all the EMTs. He takes out the EMTs. He knocks out the referee, which is important. He knocks out the referee. He throws Ciampa back in the ring. He gives him 6, 7 super kicks consecutively. He locks him in the Gargano escape. But all the agents get in the ring. They pull Gargano off. They pull him out of the ring. They say, Gargano, you've got to stop. You've got to stop. Gargano attacks the agents. Every one of them. Every one of them. And he handcuffs Ciampa, and he locks him in the Gargano escape again, but he gets taken out of the ring again. And the agents say, you can't do this. He attacks all the agents. And while this has been happening, well, before Ciampa took Gargano up the stage, he got bolt cutters and he cut the mat away. So the mat had been pulled away, the padding had been put away, so there's just the wooden flooring of the ring. Those wooden bars, obviously. And so while Gargano has been like with all the agents, and he's been getting rid of all them. Ciampa, in his handcuff still, has had time to recover, and he goes over to the wooden bit, and Gargano goes to get in the ring. And Ciampa grabs him and gives him an apron DDT onto the exposed board, throws his body on top. 1, 2, 3. And Ciampa wins. In, honestly, the best finish I could have imagined for this match. It was Johnny Gargano's rage that got the better of him here. In New Orleans, his rage helped him. His smarts helped him from Ciampa outsmarting him again. But here, his rage cost him against Ciampa. Ciampa won. The crowd, the chorus of boos was amazing. Tommaso Ciampa beat his friend Johnny Gargano, well, his ex-friend Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano was destroyed. Ciampa was taken away. Candice LeRae came out to help out Johnny Gargano, and that ended NXT Takeover Chicago 2018. This show was amazing. Again, NXT knock it out of the park here. Money in the Bank is fucked. NXT was amazing. The main event, 5 stars, easy peasy. Do I prefer it to the New Orleans match? It's really tough. I think I might still prefer the New Orleans match, but this match was insane. 5 stars, excellent match, excellent show. NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 or NXT TakeOver Chicago 2018 gets a 9.5 out of 10. This show ruled. Great opener tag match, which really helped Birch and Lorcan. A great athletic matchup with Ricochet and Velveteen Dream that told a fantastic story. You had the psychology of the women's match, which I don't think is going to get enough praise. Then you had the NXT title match, which was very exciting, really tense, really aggressive. And then you had the blowaway street fight where these two guys, who everybody said, oh, they wouldn't be able to live up to the first one, sequels never live up to the original. These guys had a match that was just as good. Just as good. And that's NXT TakeOver Chicago 2. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw. So like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to the finish of the Gargano Ciampa match? What did you think to the NXT title match? Do you think people are being too harsh, or am I being too nice? What do you think to the NXT Women's title match? What did you think to Shayna Baszler retaining, Aleister Black retaining, and the Undisputed Era retaining? What did you think to Birch and Lorcan's performance in the opener? And what did you think to the absolute athletic masterpiece that was Ricochet and Velveteen Dream? Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw. I'm going to go watch Germany. I'll see you all tomorrow for Money in the Bank.